So, Darrin, thanks for joining us. First off, it would be great if you would just share a little bit about your background and how you got into the non-credit program space.
Okay, great. Chris, thanks for having me today. My name is Darrin Devault. I'm Director of Non-Credit Programs at the University of Tennessee. I've been in higher education for the past 20 years. My background is in public relations and marketing. I've filled several different roles in higher education, from being a public relations director at a community college and a journalism instructor there. I've taught journalism courses for about 20 years. I was at University of Tennessee at one stretch as a marketing director for conferences and non-credit programs. That was around 2006 through 2010. I left in 2011 to teach journalism and operate an online degree program at the University of Memphis in public relations, and returned to my current position 5 years ago, where I lead all of our non-credit programming efforts at the University of Tennessee.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Now, just in terms of the scope of the non-credit efforts at UT, tell us a little bit more about the department and some of the things that you lead over there.
Sure. We offer just a full roster of professional development courses and personal enrichment courses for adults, adult lifelong learners. Our tagline is "Learning has no finish line." And that's the idea that no matter where you are in your life, there's always something new to aspire to, something new to learn. And most of our lifelong learners really embrace that tagline and live it out, as does our team members. We have programming from ages 8 to 80. We offer summer camp programs in the summer for the youngsters, and we have a senior adult program in partnership with a senior adult center in Knoxville. But our sweet spot is the courses in the middle for adults who are getting they're looking for new professional development opportunities. They're looking to scratch that itch for a new hobby. We offer dance courses, art courses, writing courses, second language courses, just everything in between. We offer that year round through our program.
That's unbelievable. That's such a scope of opportunities, and 8 to 80 kind of really fits in with a lot of the lifelong learning trends that are out there right now, which is great. One of the reasons you're joining us today is to talk a little bit about kind of how you reach out to alumni and some of what you've done with your best practices webinars. So my first question there, how important is that connection with UT alumni to what you're doing in the non-credit space and how you're working to kind of build what you do there?
Well, the past year, because of the pandemic, has been such a challenge for everyone who works in continuing ed, as well as every other sector that you can name and identify. When the pandemic hit us in mid-March, all of our team members went home and became remote workers overnight. And after the initial shock of that wore off, we were scrambling to salvage the remainder of our spring course schedule. And so we started working with our instructors to transition their instruction to a Zoom format, and we salvaged what we could of the remaining schedule. The other thing that we did is challenged ourselves with a couple of questions. What can we do for our students to help them during the pandemic? And then number two, how can we as a department stay relevant during this uncertain time? And so we answered those two questions with three primary initiatives. And the first one was to launch a virtual lunch and learn series in partnership with the University of Tennessee Alumni Association. They really embraced the idea of sharing this free content and opportunities with the alumni base. And so we started hosting a monthly virtual webinar series that included everything from our landscape instructor talking about residential landscape renovation. A lot of people were cooking at the house. A lot of people were scratching around in their yards and tending their landscape and creating home gardens. So he was one of the first instructors that we reached out to give some tips on how people could utilize their time at home to spruce up the appearance of their property, their home, and their landscape. Some other things that we did, we offered a LinkedIn for Learning session. We did a session on professional goal setting. We did a session on virtual empathy, the implications of our new normal. We looked at topical areas that we felt were relevant for the people who were at home and had time on their hands, and they were in one respect, and in the other respect, they're trying to juggle remote work at home. They're juggling children who are trying to learn remotely. It was just a strange time, but we really challenged ourselves to develop some virtual programming that would be helpful to our learning base, and we're very, very happy with that. We had another session on, we have a stand-up comedy class, and our stand-up comedy instructor led a session on how to add humor to your next presentation. And that was a lot of fun to moderate that program. But perhaps my most favorite virtual webinar from last year was one on how to maximize your online learning. There was a guy named Chris Edwards with MindEdge Learning that led that program, and that was a way that we could introduce the new partnership with MindEdge Learning. And we're really just thrilled to be a partner of your organization.
Yeah, Darrin, I had a lot of fun with that. And I was going to ask you kind of what your favorite topics were, or kind of what resonated with the audience the most. But I'll kind of follow that up with, what kind of insights about programming and outreach were you able to gather from the webinar series, whether it was kind of topics or, frankly, everybody's comfort with doing more online learning as a part of their mix of programs and outreach?
Well, that was part of our broader goal, is to introduce people to some virtual programming and to kind of whet their appetite for more. A lot of people are accustomed to coming to an in-person classroom, traditional classroom, to take classes with us, and that's still our bread and butter. I mean, that's still our main focus. But over this past year, we've used it as an opportunity to introduce people to the concept of online learning, to show them the affordability of online learning, the flexibility that online learning presents to the learner. The learner can be anywhere, anytime, to log in to these asynchronous programming, the courses that we offer, and then the virtual series let their appetite and to get them accustomed to real-time online learning as well.
Yeah. So one of the things I know folks will be curious about, especially those in our continuing education audiences, are, what does it take, or what did it take for you to put something like this together? Multiple weeks, multiple topics. Describe a little bit about the kind of staff involved, the time commitments you had to make, and some of the other logistics you had to go through to make the series worthwhile.
Well, we really have a small programming staff within our department. And I like to say that we play bigger than we are, because we have a big, robust program, but there's really just 3 or 4 of us in the kitchen cooking up all these programming ideas. So it was a challenge for us, because it was a new frontier, a new way of thinking, a new way of stretching our minds to service our students, to provide new opportunities of learning for our students. I'm really excited about our response to the pandemic and how it has enabled us to really stretch our thinking. And we've been able to realize some stretch goals that we had for ourselves as a department. In terms of the production side, we would record the videos and add them later to our YouTube channel, which was exciting for us. Another initiative that we launched last year is with our executive chef. We have a 12-week culinary and catering program that we offer twice a year. And so once the pandemic hit, the culinary program was sitting idle for a few months. So I got together with the executive chef, and at the beginning of the pandemic, I would drive to his house once a week, and we would do a live Facebook program called Cooking at the House. And he would dream up these different recipes and entrees that he would do a live demo each week. And he would do it with his 6-year-old granddaughter, Gabby. And she was adorable, and she was like the breakout star of the show. But we did about 30 different videos. We would often do 2 or 3 each week. And then we would release those on YouTube after we added them to our Facebook page. And at the end of the summer, we had 20 to 25,000 views of that video series. So that was another way that we reached out and really challenged ourselves to come up with new programming that was fun and relevant. You know, and for me, it was a lot of fun because at the beginning of the pandemic, I should say, I was at home working too. So often at the beginning of the pandemic, going to Chef Greg's house each Thursday to do the cooking video series was really the only time that I would venture out of the house for the first couple of months of the pandemic. So it was a little bit therapeutic for me to get out and to have a little bit of fun with the chef. And he's got a big personality, and that programming just struck a chord with our the people who follow that particular program.
That's awesome. So it kind of sounds like there's going to be some lasting impacts from kind of this last year of programming, kind of from pandemic time moving forward. And some of it may be in the way that you maybe embrace digital or online learning and then kind of streamline that back into your physical stuff. And I know behind you, right, is one of the buildings you guys are working out of. It looks like there's some cranes in the background. Like there's a lot of interesting stuff happening in the physical space. Think ahead the next 3, 6, 9 months. How will your physical on-campus in-presence efforts mingle with what you're doing online? And maybe what are some of the practices you might keep, like making some breakout stars on Facebook?
Well, I think we're going to continue to do interviews such as the one that we're doing right now. I think we'll continue to interview some of our star students. I think we'll do more video interviews with our instructors, really our A-team, our A-list of instructors. Will continue to build awareness for their expertise and build awareness for the relevant topics of courses, that they teach. Another initiative that we put into place last year at the beginning of the pandemic, we partnered with another educational vendor to release a bundle of 10 self-paced free online courses. We made those available during the month of May. Those courses were a mix of hard and soft skills courses for people who were searching for a job, as well as people who are already in a job and were looking to polish their skill set while they were stuck at home for a while. And during the month of May, we had over 500 enrollments. And this was a complimentary bundle of courses that we made available. So in terms of staying relevant and providing a community service to our lifelong learners in the Knoxville area, that resulted in about $45,000 to $50,000 worth of complimentary courses that we, along with our educational partner, gave away last year. And again, it was often to introduce people to the concept of online learning for the first time. So our hope is that the people who took those 500 free courses with us online will give us an opportunity to search deeper into our online catalog and to engage into even more online experiences.
Awesome. Yeah. Having the opportunity to take a course and understand the online learning experience has, I think, been one of the outgrowths of the pandemic. We had an effort in March that we launched. It was very similar, that allowed partners to do a couple of free courses. And we also offered our online learning certificates for folks. And it really did drive a level of kind of understanding and knowledge about good online experiences, which was really, really important. So obviously we're talking a little bit about how you mentioned the webinars and the webinar that we did that kind of launched your relationship with MindEdge. Tell us a little bit more about the MindEdge catalog, how you're bringing it into the fold, and some of the things you're hoping to accomplish and have been accomplishing with kind of MindEdge offerings in your catalog.
One of our long-term goals before the pandemic was to identify and forge new partnerships with partners such as MindEdge Learning that offer online experiences. And we were able to accomplish that last year along with MindEdge and two other online programming partners. And what we do when we vet new program partners, we look at the catalog, we look at we do a demo of the course materials, the modules, the activities that the students will be asked to do, as well as the assessments at the end of each module. So that's always really important to us. Secondly, being comfortable with the people that we work with. And I can't say enough about the folks at MindEdge Learning. You guys are such a wonderful new partner to us. You're enthusiastic. You have a robust catalog of offerings that really blends well with what we already offer. And again, I just can't say enough about our feelings of the new partnership.
Oh, we appreciate that. It's one of our goals, honestly, is to make sure that we're providing kind of that level of flexibility and service that helps our partners who are reaching learners, bring those folks into a high quality online experience. Let's see. We've covered a lot of ground. Is there anything I'm missing? Is there anything else that the world should know about what you guys are up to at UT's non-credit programs?
Well, I think moving ahead, we're excited about these new opportunities, and we feel like we've done a tremendous amount of legwork to set a firm foundation for the partnership with MindEdge, the partnership with a couple of other of our new academic partners. And we feel like the future is really bright. We feel like we'll probably have a few more months of up and down enrollments, but I really feel like that we'll have a strong rebound beginning in the fall 2021 term.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's going to be a bumpy summer just in the world at large, because the pull of back to school and the pull of fall, that fall season, it's just kind of, I think, embedded in society. It's embedded in kind of our go, go, go. I feel like most folks are going to have what I like to call a Wisconsin summer, which is the weather's nice in Wisconsin from May to Labor Day. So off you go. I feel like the rest of the country is going to have that similar experience this year because we've all been cooped up inside for so long. So, as things move forward, I do think what you guys are doing in terms of expanding into digital, banking content in places that people can discover later. So when you get on a kick to take some cooking classes, you can go back to some of those recordings you did with Chef and really build some affinity for potentially coming and taking those cooking classes in person when it's time, because you've just had some familiarity with what you offered and it's going to be time well spent. So that's amazing stuff. And everything that you guys are accomplishing and getting done, especially that webinar series, bodes well for the future. So congratulations on that. And obviously continued good luck in the future.
Thanks so much. I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you guys today.
Awesome. Thanks, Darrin.